Hello my dear professionals, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing few lesser known facts about working in an MNC. So knowing these facts will help you grow in your career seamlessly and you will save yourself from a lot of frustrations because now you will be aware that this is how things work in MNCs by default. There's no other way around it. So you will find yourself less frustrated and you'll be able to take your decisions accordingly. So on that note, let's get started. This video is powered by KR. Point number one, matrix structure. Here you'll find that one employee reports to multiple managers. Unlike a popular belief where you feel like one person reports to only one manager, in MNCs where there is a matrix structure, one person will have several managers basis which project they are working in, and then there can be a region specific manager, and then there can be a manager under whom you are assigned for your usual performance appraisal or basically to manage your overall performance. So you will find yourself juggling between multiple managers. So it's very important to understand here that you develop your attitude and your behavioral skills accordingly. Just because you're working in a particular project and you are for time being under that project manager, this does not mean that you can just take your other managers casually. You have to make sure that you are always in alignment with the other managers as well. It means that you are in continuous communication with them as well, whatever you are doing in your job. It will help you to get good ratings, plus you will get recognition for the work that you are doing and you will not be sidelined or missed to be recognized by any of the managers. So make sure that you go with that mentality. Point number two, which is similar to the first point, which is hierarchy is everything. I mean, over anything else, hierarchy matters. So this means even for the little of the thing that you want to do in your project or any idea that you want to implement, any new process, it will take several approvals because the decision maker is probably sitting very top in the hierarchy. So when you are a junior and you want to do something that needs an approval, then it has to go through a certain path, certain set path. You cannot bypass the hierarchy or bypass the process. You have to go through several of approvals, even for the tiniest of the thing or the change. So sometimes you'll see if there is something, a change that is suggested or a brilliant idea that is suggested by somebody who's pretty junior in the hierarchy, by the time it reaches to the decision makers, the idea itself just dissolves somewhere in between, or I should say just disappears in between because the layer of approvals are so much. But that's how the MNCs work. Point number three, diversity is the key aspect in MNCs. Whenever you join any MNC as a fresher, you will see that there are a lot of employees from different culture, different location, different religion. So you have to make sure that you are always mindful of your language, that you are not hurting anybody's feelings, belief, culture or background. Sometimes people do not realize. I've seen this happening multiple times in my career, that whenever there's a new person joining and he or she is talking to a group, as in like a group of 4-5 people, and he or she candidly just pass a comment about any particular region, not realizing that there is a person standing in the group from that particular location. So a lot of times it's not very obvious from the faces of the people that from where they belong or what their beliefs are. So be very mindful. These things are taken very seriously in MNCs. Even if you are a star performer and if somebody complains against you regarding these things, then my friend, it does not matter how big of a star employee you are, you can be terminated very easily. Next point on the list is learning and development. Most of the MNCs have their own learning portals or sometimes universities, which they call as online universities, where they have tons of data, courses, learning programs, which are free to use for the employees of that company. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, people do not take advantage of that. Later, when people do not have access to that kind of content, they take paid courses from other various websites, but they miss this opportunity when they are working with their own company. Employees, specifically freshers, prefer to spend their time leisurely in the cafeteria or just roaming around and trying to figure out new stuff about the infrastructure of the company. And in most cases, like 99% of them, companies do pay even for the certifications that you take. If there's a particular certification which is not available inside the content library of the company, if you are interested or willing to take that certification outside in the market, your company will pay for it. Even if it is like 85,000 rupees, the company will pay it, even if it is in lakhs or so. If you clear that certifications, company will pay for that. How amazing is that? So guys, please make use of this opportunity and do not waste your time in doing random things. Later in your career, when you do not have that opportunity, you will have to spend those lakhs of money from your own pocket. So then why not utilize it when it's existing for you for free? Next on the list is networking. Now, when you're working in a company, it's very obvious that you will network with your own team. You will have a good rapport with them. Maybe you go out to eat food with your own team and you spend a lot of time with them. But very few people understand the importance of networking beyond your team. You should know people outside of your team as well, and more people you know outside of your team, outside of your working area, the more good it is for you. Because you understand this or you do not, employees which are good in networking are often discussed on the performance appraisal tables. When there are leaders talking about giving promotions to people, they do point out these facts about employees, and if there are certain employees who are good with networking and who take this effort to talk to other people, get engaged with them, understand their business as well, and try to understand what the company is all about and how the work of other teams is impacting their own work and all of that stuff, those people are highlighted for sure, and it will help you in your career growth so much. For example, tomorrow if you're not liking your own work, maybe you're liking the company, but the work that you are doing, the job profile you are in, you are not very excited about that and you want to switch teams. So if you have networked with the right people, it will be very easy for you to switch teams, because the next team that you want to join in, by then you must have engaged to a certain level with that manager. So it will help you switch your job role seamlessly. So it's really, really helpful to network outside your team. Next point on the list is communication can be a challenge at times. When you join a MNC, you are not just working with people from your own country, your own region. You also work with people from different countries, different region, all across the world. So the way a Philippine will speak English will be very different from the way we Indians speak English. So at times it can get really challenging. So if you can work on your communication skill from the beginning itself, rather than just running away from the projects which get you involved with cross region teams, it will be beneficial for you, because sooner or later you have to be in that position. So if you work on your communication skills the right way, which means not only speaking but understanding as well, that will make a lot of difference in your overall career growth. Next on the list is performance-based culture. It's very common in MNCs. I think most of the companies, the employees survive because of their performance. If it is a target-based job, then you have to meet your targets. It does not matter how good you are otherwise. If you have not met your targets, you will be asked to leave. That's the harsh reality. Now, it can motivate some people to work, like some people get motivated by such kind of culture, but for some it can be a stressful environment. So when you join a MNCs, come with a mindset that performance is everything. From the day one, your performance is measured. You cannot take things lightly. You cannot think that, oh, I just joined 1 month back, nothing much is expected out of me. No, from the day one, people are noticing you, how you are growing, how you are learning, how you are delivering, what's your performance. So make sure that you align your mindset accordingly and you start working on your skills, developing your skills from the day you enter any organization. And the last point on the list is the 8-hour working day myth. I know by now it's not a lesser known fact. Most of you might know already that though companies say that we are 8 hours working company, it's never 8 hours. It's very common for people to work 10 hours, 11 hours, or even 12 hours. Even if it is mentioned in your offer letter, your agreement, your contract that you are there to work for 8 hours, you will find that reality is far away from that what is written in the document. So make sure that you start drawing your boundaries from starting only, because later it will be very difficult. Then people will perceive that initially you didn't have any problem, you were okay to work 12 hours. Now why you have issue with working even 10 hours? So make sure that you find out what works for you the best. Obviously you cannot just say a hard stop at 8 hours. You have to see what you're working on, if it is important or not so important. So draw your boundaries accordingly, whatever works for you. If 8 hours straight work for you, then say no after that, but make sure you are not doing something else other than work in those 8 hours, because then people will target you, obviously. So find out what works for you the best, and say a clear no if somebody tries to take advantage of you. Otherwise you will have a very horrible work-life balance, and your life will just revolve around work, and I'm sure that's not what you want. So guys, these were the points that you should keep in your mind when you start working with any MNC. Now these are not to scare you at all. These are very common, but I'm making you aware so that you can progress in your career with peace of mind. If you already know these things, it will be very easy for you to take decisions accordingly, and to know firsthand what needs to be done if there is a situation like that. So with that, we came to the end of this video. I really hope you derived some value out of today's conversation, and you stay tuned. Keep on watching more content on the Corporate Diaries to be corporate ready, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.